Okay, I'm not going to do it like this. Hey everyone, I recently just saw the Avengers, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Alright. This is obviously footage from 6 years ago. Let's go to the present time. And here we are. What's going on, everybody? JT is reborn here, aka Spider-Man, and I'm here to talk to you all about Avengers Infinity War. And, I can't really talk with this mask on. Wow! I don't feel so good with it on. Oops, I spoiled the movie. But, yeah. So, Avengers Infinity War. What an elaborate thing that Marvel has done here. Absolutely amazing. Starting with the first Iron Man, all the way up till now, the MCU has been quite impressive. Of course, there's been things that haven't been great. Iron Man 3, I think, is atrocious. You know, Thor the Dark World's not very good. I didn't really care too much for Guardians 2. But there's been some spectacular films. Infinity War, amazing. I love the first Avengers. I love the first Iron Man movie. I like some of the smaller movies like Ant-Man. Obviously, they got other, Netflix TV shows. I love Daredevil. Try getting through Jessica Jones Season 1. Wasn't necessary for me. I haven't heard great things about Inhumans. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to watch the first season. But, the MCU's, got the TV shows, got the movies. You got the Marvel one-shots that they'd have on the Blu-rays, DVDs. It's been just insane. It's insane that it's been all leading up to this. Although the TV stuff doesn't really factor into the movies. It's weird. The movies influence the TV shows, but the TV shows have no effect on the movies. I don't know what's going on there. It's all in the same universe, but it's like the movies don't even care. So otherwise, why isn't Colston in these movies at this point? But we're not here to necessarily talk about those. We're here to talk about Avengers Infinity War. What a build-up. Ever since I went to the midnight screening of Avengers 2012 and I saw, the mid-credits scene, we see Thanos, and then you have the Chitauri guy who's like, to challenge them is to court death. And then, he stands up, he turns around, and he lets out like a slight smile. We've been waiting 6 years, and then we've had little teases here and there of the Infinity Stones, little bits of Thanos. You see him in Guardians of the Galaxy, just for that brief little cameo. And at first when I saw him, I kind of snickered a bit. I'm like, this is Thanos? Really? Look at this guy. I mean, he looked cooler in the first Avengers movie when there was something actually there. Obviously, things change. So, I wasn't quite sold on Thanos. And then we had him in, like, all these other movies doing absolutely nothing. In Age of Ultron, finally puts the gauntlet on. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And I'm like, come on, for God's sake, Thanos, just do something. You've been teasing this guy for several movies, and he hasn't done jack shit. Well, I'm here to say that definitely changes, and Thanos has become my favorite Marvel villain in the cinematic universe. I thought Josh Brolin just nailed it out of the park. He's not a quippy, one-lining, spewing jackass like Ultron was. He's straightforward. He's got, good motivations for his... You understand why he wants to do the things that he does. He's got a lot of depth to him. Now, in the comics, Thanos' motivation, obviously, was to court death. Death, he wants to fuck death. That's, in essence, kind of what he wants to do. Here, he wants to bring balance to the universe because, its resources are finite. It's not infinite. He's like, I got to bring balance to this thing and save everyone, in a way. And then he can finally just, rest easy and, look out to the sunset. That's Thanos' motivation. And it works. It works in this movie. Josh Brolin does an amazing job. He's intimidating. He's intense. He's not cracking one-liners, like I said. And there's some really, there's one scene I really love, too, when he has to get the Soul Stone. I'm not going to spoil that just yet. I'll get into a full-blown spoiler section for those of you who haven't seen it. But that scene, just seeing the emotion on Brolin's face, the motion capture work is spectacular. It's great. He's intimidating. There's some fucking amazing, stellar action sequences. I just had a really great time with the movie. Probably my favorite Avengers film now. I think it's actually surpassed the first Avengers film for me. I mean, you obviously got to let it have, some time to settle. Because I saw that first Avengers film 3 times the same day. I was so hyped. I went to the midnight, back when they used to do midnights. Now they do 6, 7 p.m., Thursday night screenings, which factor into the Friday grosses. And I don't understand why that really should work. It should count as its own separate thing. But you get the idea. So, now that we have those, I couldn't have seen it several times because it's a long movie and you got to work the next day. But I really dug it. I really dug what they were able to do. They were able to find a good balance between all the characters. Some of the characters stood out to me, others not so much. I think Hulk was an embarrassment in this film. I'll just say that right away. I couldn't stand what was going on with Hulk. I'm like, Hulk was kind of a bitch. He's kind of a coward. And there wasn't really any big payoff for him in the movie. There's a shot in the trailer where you see, Hulk running with Captain America, Black Panther, and all that. And you think, okay, this is the fight at Wakanda, which obviously they've shown in the trailer, so I don't feel like I'm really spoiling anything. And plus, the movie's been out. You've seen all the memes with the ending and such. God, I love the ending. I think the ending is probably my favorite ending to any, MCU film. It's the audience reaction and seeing the kids leaving the theaters, with tears in their eyes. It was just, I don't know, maybe I'm just an evil, cynical, angry jerk, but I definitely dug that. Because it shows the connection that the audience has had with these characters over the past 10 years. And it's an event film. I finally feel the stakes. One of my issues with the MCU films is they haven't really felt like after the first Avengers movie, they didn't really feel like movies at this point. They felt like episodes of a long TV show, and in a way, that's kind of how it is, even with Infinity War, because it's just this is the season finale, and we're going into the next season, which is whatever Avengers 4 is going to be. But this one felt like a movie. It felt like an epic, something once-in-a-lifetime type deal that doesn't come around all too often. And Marvel played the long game. They built themselves up, and I give them props for that. Props to you, Marvel. You've done a spectacular job. My favorite standouts in the movie, obviously Thanos was my favorite part of it. I loved, as far as the heroes go, I did like the Guardians, Drax, Dave Bautista, hilarious. Every time this guy talks, I definitely, get a chuckle out of him, especially in this movie. Although Guardians 2, everything just, I'm not too big a fan of Guardians 2. After I saw it the first time, I really let it settle in, and it doesn't really hold up quite as well. I still like the first one, but the second one just doesn't do it for me. Drax was great. Doctor Strange was pretty good. The banter he has with Iron Man. Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., he's not going to give a bad performance. I don't even feel like he's acting at this point. I feel like he is Tony Stark. And Doctor Strange was great. Peter Parker, Tom Holland's, he's good. He's not my favorite Spider-Man. I still love those first two Tobey Maguire movies. Those are my two favorite. Actually, the first Spider-Man, I'd say, is my favorite Marvel property film of all time. I just have such a strong connection to that movie. It's nostalgia. The origin story's done great. Sam Raimi made it. I just love that. But Tom Holland does a good job. So, what else do we have? Thor. Thor was great in it. Thor was a badass, kicking ass. His connections with Rocket Raccoon and Groot, I thought that was pretty good. There's some other nitpicks I have in the movie. Doctor Strange has this power where he can close portals. I felt like that really should have played a factor into the final battle and stuff. But, we'll get into spoilers. Captain America, he's not in the movie too much, but when he, makes his first entrance, he's pretty badass. And that's the thing, too. It is a really tough job to balance all these characters in one movie. If this movie doesn't really work on its own, if you see all these characters, without having seen the prior films, it really is something you can't necessarily jump into. You can have an idea, okay, this is the bad guy and all that, but it's going to seem like a mess because you need the setup for this. And that's the thing, too. With the first Avengers movie, you don't necessarily have to have seen the other ones to understand what's going on with this one. You can kind of just jump into it. But this one, you definitely would have had to have seen a lot of the other Marvel movies, otherwise, or know a history of the characters. Because if you just, but at this point, why are you jumping in to just Infinity War for the first time? It is like a crazy epic, but without the other films, it doesn't really hold up quite as well, I should say. It's tougher to say that because I've grown, watching all these movies ever since I first saw Iron Man 10 years ago, and to see where they're at now. But without the other movies, the movie couldn't really exist on its own, I should say. And I guess that's a weakness, but really, we wouldn't have this movie without that. So, and plus, if you've seen the movies, you understand everything just fine. It is a heavy movie. There's a lot going on with it, and it's great. It's definitely great. There are some things that they do that are pretty ballsy, particularly the ending. And you know what? I think we're getting into spoilers at this point. So, if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, which I don't know why you haven't at this point, maybe you just saw Deadpool 2 and we're going to wait for the crowds to die down, go see Avengers Infinity War. I'm going to get into full-blown spoilers now. I made sure to keep it, as good spoiler-free as I could, but at this point, you should all know what's going on with it by now. So, it's been a few weeks. Alright, let's get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go. Thanos wipes out half the universe with the snap of his fingers, and I loved it. But the thing I love the most about it too is seeing who went out. Seeing like all the people. It really is just the original Avengers who are left, and a few people from Black Panther. When they took out like T'Challa, I was like, whoa, that's pretty ballsy. I'm kind of surprised that Captain America made it, but then I kind of realized, oh, it's all the OG Avengers. Well, we don't know where Hawkeye is. He's not even like in the movie at all. Neither is Ant-Man. Although we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is next. I mean, after Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp is following Infinity War. You wiped out everyone. What's it going to be like? Unless it's set before the events in this film, the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, just everybody gets kind of wiped out and stuff. That'd be kind of a neat way to end that film, unless they escape to the quantum realm or something like that. I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp. I definitely dug the first Ant-Man movie. I liked it more than, say, like, Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron, even when I saw it in the theaters, I wasn't really feeling it. I love the first Avengers movie. Don't really care too much for the second one. I definitely, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. But Infinity War, Thanos, the other great surprise is Red Skull is coming back. Red Skull returns. Now, I remember for years, Hugo Weaving was just like, I'm not doing it. I've only did the one movie. I'm good enough. And then when he showed up, I'm like, holy shit, Hugo Weaving is back. But then it turns out it was someone else. But still, Red Skull's back. And he's been here where the Soul Stone is. One of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite scene in the movie outside of the finger snap, is when he kills Gamora. That's the scene that adds probably the most depth to Thanos' character. When you find out that he, in order to have, perfect balance in the universe to achieve his goal, he has to kill the one person that he loves. And then she's just like, haha, I win. You're just not going to do it. And then he drops her, and you hear the music. I think the track is Alan Silvestri, Even For You, which Alan Silvestri, definitely dig the dude. Love his work. Predator, one of my all-time favorite movie scores. Love Back to the Future. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm starting to lose my voice. But yeah, I think that track where it's like, you just see like the tears in his eyes and the sacrifice, that was great. The snap of the fingers, just watching everyone kind of fade out, and I didn't really get emotional over that because I'm pretty certain they're not just going to wipe out half the universe and then not have them come back, so I didn't really feel a finiteness to any of the deaths, because it's all up in the air at this point. You have no idea where they're going to go with the next Avengers movie, which I like. I like not knowing too much. I almost hope they don't like really even show much in the movie. Don't show that everyone comes back. It's going to be crazy, because I know Captain Marvel is going to factor into it somehow. It's weird, we got the 2 Captain Marvel movies coming out next year. We got Marvel Studios Captain Marvel, and we got Shazam, who is the original Captain Marvel, but they had to change the name due to legal reasons, even though it came out like in the 1930s, well before they came out with Captain Marvel. It's just a fucking mess. But, yeah. So, snap of the fingers, they wiped out everyone except really the OG Avengers. Hulk was an embarrassment in this movie after he gets his ass kicked. Loki dies the first couple minutes, like, oh, bye-bye, Loki. Vision, we kind of assumed was already dead. Vision's gone. What else do we have? Spider-Man was the only one where you can kind of get choked up a bit, where he's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. And then he fades away in Tony's arms, and you just see the disappointment and failure, which I love that scene. Just when Thanos is kicking the shit out of him, the action sequences are great. Thanos kind of throws a planet at them, or a moon. I thought that was epic. Although the battle with them in the Infinity Stones, I'm like, shouldn't Thanos have been able to just wipe them out within an instant? And then Doctor Strange, you do have the thing where he's just like, I looked into like 14 million possibilities. Only one way we survive, which, everyone's theorized that's why he had to kind of give up the stone to Thanos. But there was also some things where I'm like, you could go back in time a bit strange and change things. Also, one thing that bugged me too was Star-Lord. He could have just shut his mouth for like 30 seconds. They could have gotten the glove off. But no, he had to like run his mouth and just be an idiot. Doom like everyone. Pretty much the Avengers, like, and same with Thor. When Thor has Thanos beat, and he's just like, I told you. And then Thanos has that great line where he's like, should have gone for the head, and he snaps his fingers. I thought that was awesome. Another thing that bugs me too is, couldn't Doctor Strange have realistically just... There's a part in the movie where they chop some guy's arm off with a portal. That was actually Wong, not Doctor Strange. But couldn't Doctor Strange have just chopped the one Thanos' arm off by, like, closing a portal on him? I mean, you can have Iron Man holding his hand open. It's like, do it, Strange, do it. Close the portal on his arm. Chippy choppy, arm is off, gauntlet is useless, take it with you. Thanos is done. Thanos is doomed. That's something, as soon as I saw it in the movie, that bugged me. That has bugged me the entire time. I know a lot of people pointed this out. But I'm just like, why couldn't they have just, you know, chopped his arm off? You're Doctor Strange. You're, like, the master of the mystic arts. You could have done this. But, yeah, I mean, you take what you get. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm trying to think of other things to talk about in this movie. I really dug it. I'm looking forward to what they do next. Marvel's done a great job building up their cinematic universe. I just try and, like, be positive and optimistic with all the comic book movies. I have a lot of Marvel stuff, but I'm more of a Detective Comics fan, like a DC fan. But I do love what Marvel's been putting out, for the most part, with all the movies. There's been ones, obviously, that haven't been that great. But they've been consistently doing a great job. This is the first one in a long time where I've really been, like, amped up after the movie. So, because, like, other ones I've just liked, I'm like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. But this is the one where I'm really like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Give me more like this. So, this one hit me the most out of the past, like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 Marvel movies. Really since the first Avengers, this is the one where I'm like, yes, this is what I've been looking for a while. I mean, there's been good stuff in between, but this is the one where I'm just like, this is a great movie. This is definitely something worth checking out. And, yeah, I don't know how long this video's gone on, but I think that's going to wrap it up. So, yes, that's all I got to say. Thank you so much to everybody for watching this video. Again, I apologize for the lack of content lately, but I'm feeling confident now, getting some shit out here. And tonight I'm going to go see Solo, a Star Wars story, which should be mediocre. Now that I've been, you know, on Avengers mode right now, I'm thinking about having to go see Solo. I'm just like, this is just not going to be very good. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But anyways, thank you all for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SeanJTKing. And I'll see you all soon in the next Marvel movie and all sorts of other stuff. Alright, that's all I got to say. Take care now. Bye-bye then.